Yeah, thank you. So today we are talking about something which we all want to do. How many of you want Jaipur to be the model state for AVGC-XR creators economy? How many of you want that? Great, sir? Arpit, sir? How many of you want that? All of you? That is only possible with the man who's sitting here. So, I request, sir, let's begin with you. That when we talk about building future Viksit Bharat leaders from Jaipur, and you being the one who understand, who gave this term called AVGC-XR. So I would like to start, sir, that what do you, like how you actually think this word coming all together to explain, so I'll start with one idea, sir. Whenever I fill the form in government bodies and everywhere, I have always been left out. And I start people here, you can listen to this. Why I feel left out? Because, there was no filmmakers, there was no content creators option. Today we have it, sir, just because of you. So, sir, how do you see this umbrella term? Please let us know.
Well, first of all, thanks so much for inviting us here today. And great energy in the event, Act to Action. I've been here since yesterday, and although we had a very turbulent flight, but it rained and it brought the temperature down. It's become more soothing. Similarly, I think almost in 90s when I was trying to go to various countries and try to find space for the Indian creative ecosystem, it was very difficult to convince people to come to India to work or send work to India for animation, gaming, visual effects, comics. And that's when I realized that we need to work on the skill development, and we'll have to aggregate the skills and aggregate probably some of these industry verticals which are futuristic. And if we are able to actually aggregate them and build that as a vertical and create a category and then grow that category into a powerhouse, then only we will be able to actually sustain the global competition and build leadership across India. And that's when in 2000 I decided to coin a word called AVGC, which is called Animation, Visual Effects, Gaming and Comics. Comics was in India, animation was just coming, visual effects was not there. And at that point in time, a lot of people objected to it because nowhere in the world it was called AVGC. They called it digital, they called it, some of them called future skills, some of them called engaging skills or whatever. But the thing is that we need not worry about what other countries are doing, but how to build an ecosystem in our country was the key. And that's when the word AVGC resonated, and we actually started creating, traction with different film industries, television industries, and started educating them about visual effects into the film and television shows. At the same time, we also started looking at revival of the comic books because we grew on Amar Chitra Katha, Chanda Mama, Raj Comics, and Pran Comics, and many others. And some of these were actually closed by the time we were into the professional life. So I had personally gone and revived some of these, magazines that were there and made it more modern to the today's world. And now they are owned by a big group of companies, and they are now back into action. But that was a foundation of the skills. And that's when we realized that when we formed our education system, we actually wanted to become an industrial nation. We actually tied up with the Russian ecosystem. We wanted to be the socialist kind of country. And we had put English, maths, botany, zoology, physics, chemistry, history, geography, civics, and economics as top 10 subjects. We forgot about creative arts, performing arts, design, sports. to be into the ecosystem. And that's why in 70 years we kind of came up with a society where systematically the creativity or design thinking was not taught, and we had very difficult times in trying to have a concentration amongst the kids, which is more into the liberal arts and more into the creative arts and the performing arts and design side. And that's where we started working with higher education first, because that is how we were able to get people to the industry much faster in 2 years, 3 years, 2 years with the master's program, 3 years with the undergrad program. And then we started approaching the states, but it was very difficult. And that's when we decided to have a state policy and the national policy. And by that time, we were in 2017, and we added a word XR to it. And that's how we actually made it AVGC-XR, because that's the future. And this is how now we have policy that is activated in about 18 states in India. We also have the Create in India mission for Government of India. At the same time, in 2005, I had written a white paper that India requires an IIT-IM kind of institution for animation, gaming, visual effects, comics. After 20 years, our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji gave us 400 crores to set it up. And the first Indian Institute of Creative Technologies is getting set up in Mumbai right now. And I am presently the founding director of the same. And we have been able to now create a new age center, which is not only for education, but for incubation, research, and framing the Indian policy to take it forward. So this is how we have systematically built this vertical. And now it is very well known. Now more than 35 countries are actually naming their industry as AVGC-XR.
Though I missed it, I'm so sorry, I have to receive something, but thank you, sir. I had a privilege to had a long conversation on dinner with sir. So whatever sir said, I would like to, sir, ask you that when yesterday we had this word that government is building this, early childhood labs in the schools, and you said there is under the national education policy, it's from 6 and above. Right? We have Dinesh here, who has access of so many schools. We have Himali ma'am here, who has an access of so many, government schools also. So when we talk about that, I want you to break down first to, first to sixth, and first to fifth, and then sixth and above. So how do you see that, and how you look up to the parents, and what you ask them if they take their children for the career in AVGC-XR?
Well, the fact is that even today, there are a lot of parents sitting in the room. If somebody in the family says that I want to become actor, I want to become a musician, I want to become a football player, cricket player, or an animator, the parents actually get very, their peace is lost. And then they go and talk to quite a few professionals, teachers, their colleagues, and they try to pursue their kids not to do that, and say that, okay, you do your engineering, medical and whatever, and then we will figure out side by side extracurricular activities kar lete hain, we will figure it out later. But that is not the answer. The thing is, all the legends, like Sachin Tendulkar to everyone, they started at the age of 8 and 9, and that's why they were legends. So if you kill that instinct when the kids are having and passing through that age, and they actually have the liking at that point in time, and you want to actually deviate their energy to something else, then there is a problem. So when the national education policy was made, we actually pushed for a lot of agenda. We wanted to have creative education, performing arts education and design into the schools from the first grade. When I say performing arts, it's not only about music, dance and all, it's the sports is also a performing art. And that's why we wanted to push it very hard. Unfortunately, at that point in time, we could convince that they would like to start only from the grade 6. And there was another agenda of actually having other kind of skills from first to the fifth grade. But then we are in 2026. Now the thing is that the implementation, even if you want to have creative arts, performing arts, design and sports in the school curriculum, sixth grade onwards, it's still difficult because the implementation, as you know, many of you are connected with the school education, how difficult it is, because there is a whole lot of resistance for change. Don't They want to continue with science and commerce, and on the side try to do something like this, and then the skill ministry was formed, and now some of them are trying to push it under the skills ministry, or say, okay, there are 10 bagless days, so you do it in the bagless days, and there are 65 ideas in bagless days. Let kids choose something on that. This is not how it's going to really work. You need to have a proper mandatory program which kids can take, dropping chemistry, maths, or physics, or history or geography, and do creative arts, performing arts, design, and sports. And now there is something called as Kaushal Board, which is getting introduced into the school from the sixth grade onwards. This year, the books are being published by NCRT. Now it's up to the adaptation of that, and within Kaushal Board also there are variety of things. One or two things will be like this, which is animation and gaming. Second thing is that you cannot directly teach animation and visual effects like you don't teach engineering and medical into the schools. You teach physics, chemistry, mathematics to go to engineering, physics, chemistry, biology to go to medical. You have to create that pathway for kids to actually make a road, create a pathway to get them into higher education, whereby they can actually have a proficiency and build those careers. So a lot of sangharsh is on right now, and a lot of opportunities are also being presented by the government. It's now up to the educational institutions and also up to the industry to come together and make sure that we give a final push and make it happen, create a space and a level playing field and the equal opportunity for kids who want to do creative performing arts, including music and dance and the rest of the other forms, and also do sports and design, give them equal opportunity with science and commerce and make it happen from the school onwards.
Umesh sir, my next question is to you. Thank you, sir. Sir, I want to know, today also see that when we talk about Viksit Bharat, that means India is going to the globe. The problem which we face, we have around 500 children who are participating in the camp and 200, 300 people every day learning. But when we talk about coming from Vaishali city to Sitapura, they feel it as a challenge. I want you guys to clap for yourself, whosoever is sitting in the auditorium. Please have a big round for yourself. See, when we talk about having an intention of taking our child from Jaipur to the global state, we need an intention. We need that motivation. So that's there in you, that's why you guys are sitting here. So sir, my question is to you, that children are really looking forward to it. We are really looking forward to it. But what is that which is, that the anxiety, that uncomfortness which is there in the parents, that they don't want to take that stress. They just want those opportunity, but they're not ready for it. Why this is there, and how we can do something for that?
So, Pritesh, the problem is, thank you so much, sir, first of all, that AVGC entire class, it is very important to start with school. Then only you can create a good creators and the good directors everywhere. It is required. So, second most important for a kid is, what for a parent most important is we want an unconventional career for our kid by moving with a conventional pedagogy and conventional classroom. This is not possible. I think change is the only constant in this world. So, if we really want our kids should do something great in their life in terms of creativity, in terms of science, mathematics, any subject, we need to choose a right path, but right path nowadays is different from what we had 20 years back. So the conventional schooling, that what we did, we only think this is the only way to get success in life. But now the things have changed. Entire world is changed. AI is introduced. So now we need to think beyond it. We need to take steps which are non-conventional, but the problem is again, there is a peer pressure, there is a society pressure. If you ask to anyone in the city, they will say, no, no, this is the only path. We also chose the same path, right? IIT is the only medium to get a success. You need to crack exam, you need to get into a rote learning or anything. So this is not a right way nowadays because things are different. 20 years back, 30 years back, career options was limited, but nowadays there are multiple career options. And the only thing left with a school and a parent is to give the opportunity, to give an opportunity to a kid. To give just an option कि ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी एक option है, to explore what they can do with their life. आज से 20 साल 30 साल पहले ये opportunity नहीं था, बहुत ही limited options थे. लेकिन now the world is move around, everything is on your mobile phone. मोबाइल फोन से भी हम दूर करना चाहेंगे, नहीं कर पाएंगे एक लिमिट के बाद में, तो वी नीड टू गिव देम अपॉर्चुनिटी. और सेकंड, ये थोड़ा फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड, टू मेक आवर सेल्फ अंडरस्टैंड कि ये भी एक करियर ऑप्शन हो सकता है. आई थिंक इफ वी आर नॉट एडमेंट एंड वी आर फ्लेक्सिबल इनफ, तो आई थिंक बच्चे अपना करियर बहुत अमेजिंग बना सकते हैं. दैट व्हाट हैपेंड 30 years 40 years बैक इन यूएस एंड द वेस्टर्न पार्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड.
That's so true, right? Thank you, sir, for this answer. We spoke about AI, right? We have Aubrey here. You're talking about, so first of all, we have here, you're staying in the hotel. So we have Ananta Group of Hotels. Director Ashish, Director Pratik sir is here. We welcome you, sir. You have General Manager. So I welcome you, ma'am. And I'll proceed with the panel. Thank you for your prestigious presence, sir. Sir, I want to ask you, when you talk about music as a literacy, music, and how you manage this creativity with AI. So, if you can just take this thing.
Sure. When I was a child, I encountered music everywhere. I had Bollywood songs playing, I had festival songs playing, I had religious songs playing, and music was everywhere. But I desired to learn, and I could not find an opportunity for various reasons when I was young. On the other side, my wife was born in a musical family, and she was taught music at a very young age. She had everything available, and of course, I love music. Now, there was a unfulfilled desire to learn music, and as I grew up, I realized that there were many like me who have that urge or that desire to learn, but for whatever reason they cannot. The other thing is, my observation is that music was meant for, looked like only for the talented or only for the rich, which is not true. In fact, I keep saying this in public. India is a nation of bathroom singers. We sing in the bathroom, right? We love singing, yeah? The issue is that, and the other thing, that the last 70 odd years, almost 80 years since independence, we've not had music as a part of our education system, the creative arts. This is the problem, as Ashish was explaining earlier. It's been lagging. We then did one quick experiment to see and scan what the various global economies, what did music and the adjacent, what today is called the orange economy, okay? What did they contribute to the GDP? US 23 years back contributed 4.8%. India was at that point contributing to 0.1% only. Now, with all the work that all of us are putting together, it's now come to close to 3%. Our Honorable Finance Minister wants to make it 10% in the next 7 to 10 years. It is possible. Now, where does AI come? Before AI, we need to understand we are not a small country like Finland or New Zealand. We are India, Bharat, 1.5 billion, 150 crores. And we don't have that many teachers to teach them 1:1. So one has to scale disproportionately to the assets that we have, the teachers that we have, the gurus that we have. So we have to actually, through our R&D, slice and dice, if I can call it the way you slice and dice onions. Ladies should understand this, you know. We have to slice and dice the whole methodology of teaching, the pedagogy of teaching music. And music, let me just clarify, music is one language, whether it's Hindustani or Carnatic or Western or Eastern. Music is one common language. And so the other thing was that we began to look at music as a language. And therefore it needed a script. And therefore we adopted the best practices, global best practices in music. Lo and behold, we, in about 15 years, we had cracked it. We, by the way, we were We were globally benchmarking our experimentation and research and development with the globe's best examination bodies in music. And that's how we came up with this pedagogy. And then came the scale. Technology is not first. Technology is an enabler, and therefore we used AI and ML before Sam Altman came with his ChatGPT. We were ready just before COVID. But by the way, the young man, the AI expert, well, we were out with our AI platform before COVID, but the world was not ready for us. COVID was a blessing in disguise. COVID actually turned the whole world and made it ready for us. And that's how we are here today. We use AI ML to make human beings smarter, not to make machines smarter. Right?
Thank you, sir. That was so true that COVID have made many of us very creative. So I come to Arpit sir. Arpit sir, we spoke about creativity, spoke about how parents can think about it. But now you being the one who is making your center so creative that people think, is it real? Or it's just the animation or just the pictures. Or at the same time, you're taking children to the art. You know, designing is there, then that AI is there, skills is there. So how do you balance this creativity, that technical skills, and how you want to contribute in this Viksit Bharat in early childhood by having AI in literacy?
Thank you, Pradesh, first for bringing this August panel together. It's really an honor to sit alongside Ashish sir and taking the mic to be discussing about my ideas. I'll try to make it simple because we have parents, we have students, and then we have an August gathering of audiences. I was always a curious child, like all of us are. But this curiosity gets killed as and when we are growing. And that's the aberration of education system, unfortunately. Whatever sir has been speaking, sir has been propagating is the real education, the real skills that inspires you to be creative. All that humans will require in the next spell of world is creativity. Because all the other operational details will be taken care by AI and automation. You will not require something which a machine or a program, a logic can do. Our AI boy is sitting here creating some wonderful programs, creating his own replicas. So things that we can repeat are not required to be done anymore. So we require creativity skills. There was a very interesting documentary on Netflix where a tech guy has to choose 150 people to send to another planet to start a civilization. And everyone was expecting because only 150 people could be taken there and the rest of the planet was getting destroyed. So that was the idea. So all the scientists and tech guys were thinking, okay, we are safe because we are going to go there. And he chose 120 creative people to be there, storytellers, creative artists, digital artists, because they create philosophy, they create stories, they create film. Now for these young ones, the programs that I do, we do, everything that I missed or I ever dreamt of, whenever a plane or a fighter plane would go and we were studying in our school, we would just run out and see. And then we would dream that, one day I will fly. I never got that chance. Today we give those chances to our students. Why can't a 12-year-old fly a real plane sitting alongside in the pilot in the cockpit? We just think it's a dream. No, it's not. We make it real. Why can't a 12-year-old deep dive into an ocean and do some under robotic equipment testing along with experts? The problem is we don't dream. The problem is we are not creative. We don't want to come out of our shells. And this is one art. Any form of creative arts, the wonderful work that you are doing in Act to Action, any form of performing arts brings out that creativity. So I totally believe it's utmost important. All the tech that we bring in on top of it, if my students are making satellites today, if the creativity is not there, the satellites won't solve a larger goal. Right? So together, as an ecosystem, and as parents especially, those who have taken the effort and who are sitting here, if your child is little interested in creativity, promote that. That is something which is going to make him a bright leader in tomorrow's world.
What a beautiful answer. Thank you, sir. My next question is to Himali Dua, ma'am. Ma'am, when you talk about you, it's UNICEF. Ma'am, how you see the world when we talk about child safety And the safety is not just the physical safety we are talking about, safety from AI, safety from traumas, childhood traumas, or the trauma which is there, or safety from anything which caused them, where it's about emotionals, where it is about, their early, external factors, it can be XYZ. So how do you see that? And how you want every child to be raised in a most safest, most happiest way, that they become the most trauma-free, I should say, leaders of the future. So over to you, ma'am.
सबसे पहले तो आप सबको सारे नमस्कार and thank you Ritesh for inviting me to be part of this panel discussion of best in case. So when we talk about the child safety, I think it's everyone's responsibility. It's not just a parent's responsibility, it's not just system's responsibility, it's everyone's responsibility. And I'll start with parents first, because parents are the first line of protection. So it's a time that now we as a parents to build trust about the relationship with the children, so that children are able to express their utmost fear, the challenges, the stress, anxiety, or even happiness that they are able to share with us, that they feel safe with the parents, and they feel that they can share anything with the parents, and they also feel assured that they will not be judged by parents with whatever they will say. And then as children grow up, then they go to school, then they come with a lot of exposure, a lot of other peer pressure. So that time, schools also one of the responsible as academic institutions. So it's also responsible so that they can create safe space and not just be academic institution. So it's very much important that schools have the grievance mechanism, the trained staff, and now it's the Supreme Court's and NEP judgment as well, that every school must have a counselor and the child protection officer who will handle any kind of trauma or abuse or mental health issues that the child is facing, that has been identified at early stage, and it's addressed as well with the child as well as, and with the parents as well as. I also see an important role of academic institutions and other NGOs and CSOs that are working in this sector, because when we talk about the child safety, we also have to look about the child rights. The four child rights that talk about the survival, development, participation, and protection. So these all four rights are important that everyone should know, and unfortunately the children for whom these rights are meant, they don't know that they are the other basic rights. So it's also important that these child rights are known to everyone, especially to the children, wherein CSOs and academic institutions can play a very important role. They can bridge the gap between the community and the system. They can do the awareness programs on the child safety, the child rights, the child protection to the community, to the people, to the children. They can also play a link as a reference services, as a counseling services. And we as a UNICEF, we also work with the government and the CSO partners to have a collaborative approach on building the child protection where every child is safe and secure. So when I think the most important thing is that सबको लगता है कि मेरी बात सुनी नहीं जाती है, मुझे कोई सुनता नहीं है, मुझे कोई समझता नहीं है. तो अगर हम ये ऐसा भरोसा अगर हम हमारे बच्चे को दे सकते हैं, when the child is feel that I have been heard, I have been valued, I have been respected, then I think that would be the most positive environment for every child to share their utmost emotions and expression so that they feel safe. And I'm sure that यहाँ पे जितने भी लोग बैठे हैं उसमें से कोई भी ऐसा नहीं होगा जिन्होंने अपनी childhood में कोई trauma face नहीं किया होगा. I'm sure, including myself. But that time we didn't have any kind of supportive environment or someone with whom we could have shared about those trauma, right? So, but fortunately now the system is there, now the parents are also more aware, the awareness program are also being there. So now it's a high time that we address this issue very well.
Beautiful answer. Thank you, ma'am. So, yeah. So now we have Paridhi sitting next to you, and Paridhi, she spoke about childhood trauma. And yesterday when we were sitting with Ashish Kulkarni sir in that panel at Baba Shah, you mentioned about how we can raise the India which is emotionally secure and can be more resilient. So I want to know that how, as a content creator in such an early childhood, you look up to the world and you contributing in that awareness system and making people free of what you say, childhood traumas. So, yeah.
So how I look at the world? Well, my experience is not as much as all the respected people sitting here, but ever since I was a child, from like I was born and brought up in Mumbai.
As a child.
Yeah. So ever since I was a toddler to now, I have been born and brought up in Mumbai. And I used to think that the world is the best place, there are no issues at all. Which is partially true. Because yes, the world is a great place because we have our own duties to do here, we have our own accomplishments to be done. And all that things we have to do here on earth. That's why God saved us in the first place. But as I grew older, I noticed many problems. For example, pollution. Actually, many people don't know this, but there was a time period of like 2 years, 3 years. I had a group chat and everything, and the group chat was titled Operation Save Earth. And now, even if we don't use that chat anymore, even today, when we were coming from the flight, we had brought our own food to eat. So it was, we had brought banana chips. So we ate that, and even then, I kept it in my bag. I chose not to litter the plane because our Mother Earth deserves to be treated like a person, not like a thing, because that's not what she is. We have in India, we Indians have 3 mothers: our birth mother, Mother Earth, and Bharat Mother. These 3 mothers take care of us, nurture us, and support us ever since we are children to the point we die. And I feel not one of them should be mistreated.
Beautiful. So, I raised the difficulty to you. What she said, you are an AI kid of India. And I want to know how you want to ensure that the future leadership should not be spoiled by AI, and how the AI leadership take the world in, the global leadership where we look up to the India. So over to you, Ron.
Okay, you want me to talk, right? Okay. I don't know how I'm going to top that, but genuinely, see, at the end of the day, AI is something that is going to change the whole world, right? AI is not just, I don't see it as a technology, but I see it as something India can personally use to get ahead, right? We are at a developing stage where we have one of the best defense. We are actually very ahead in AI in agriculture. No one knows that. There's a company named Fossil. But the thing is that we never focus on those. We are like, Android iPhone, even if a small feature comes, we have a new calculator app. That's a big thing. iPhone makes big deal about every big, small things that happen. But on the other hand, India is like Android. We are doing so many great things, but they're not getting appreciated enough for it. Right? Unless we have a good story, or let's say we are young, right? People are there to support us. But a lot of people, they are not getting the support. One of the biggest investment companies, SoftBank, that was in India, came to invest in India, left India, because people in India were not doing anything. They were not having the best startup. They were not growing. Right? They just use the money and didn't do anything. Right? There are top visionaries here trying to build the next generation, trying to build the next India. But it's not just useful talking about it. They have proved that taking action matters, and they have done it, right? And generally, that's what I'm trying to do. Even if I say I've trained 150,000 people, I've created a free app and given this free course and all that, unless I take action and unless I just, just talk about it, rather continue doing it, there's no use. India needs to be one of the first in AI. We all heard, everyone here has heard about AI. Can they raise their hands? Yes. But did you know 60% of India has not even heard the word AI? We are actually in a bubble. We are one of the top people, right? That is a big problem where China builds the top AI tools, US builds top AI tools and the machine behind it, NVIDIA. What is India doing there? Right? That is exactly my question and that is where we have to focus on. Thank you.
Anybody would like to answer that question or want to contribute in that question?
Yeah. No, I like the thought, Rahul. I think it's excellent. And you will be a future, what do they call you? AI kid of India.
AI kid of India.
No. I believe you'll be the AI leader of India, okay?
Thank you. Next.
Keep going and pressing on. No, I believe that AI will be like water. AI will be like electricity, AI will be very common.
Oxygen.
Or like oxygen, how we breathe. It's like, I keep saying, we need roti, kapda, makan, bijli, sadak, pani, what else do you need? And you need internet, right? And mobile, right? It's like that, you need AI also. But then, what do you do with that AI? That is the big question that we need to ask. So just for an example, and I think application is very important, you train 150,000 individuals, you train many lakhs. Now, what's important is that India get application oriented. We have a lot of entrepreneurs here who have been application oriented, whether in AVGC sector or whether in creating rockets that we saw flying up in the air, which is free for flying an airplane, or whether it is, teaching other various critical skills, creative skills. What we have done, for example, is how do we use AI to break down tasks which normally you would need 1 billion teachers to teach a nation of 1.5 billion. And that's what AI has helped, right? And music, which is very difficult to learn without a guru, how do you make it possible where every school can have music lessons in their classroom? Every child can have music lessons at their home, take their homework from their school and take it at home and practice. How can we, talking about UNICEF, how can we have every child across the length and breadth of India, which includes urban and rural India, so we cannot don't leave anyone behind, right? So how can we get whatever they need, if it is British music, if it is education or healthcare or creative art, how can we reach it down to the lowest common denominator in the nation? But that is what we need to use AI and technology for.
Totally agree. A big applause for that.
Yeah.
Please.
Now, I have a question to you, Jaspal. Jaspal sir spoke about how exactly, we can have everybody over there. You are a content creator. You are the person with 2 billion views, out there. How you see the world and how you want to create the awareness with the content creation. And along with that, I want you to share the story because Jaspal comes from a Shiroi. Many of us have not even heard about this name. Where is Shiroi? Right? Shiroi is very, like whenever we introduce it like Mount Abu ke paas mein ek jagah hai, right? And now today you be there and how you have took it to this place. I want you to speak about that and how you contributing in this panel, whatever Himani ma'am said, whatever Paridhi said, whatever sir said. Through your content creation marketing, you'll take it further for Viksit Bharat.
Sure, Pritesh. First of all, it's my pleasure to sit with all these crazy people, very, very age groups, right? From starting from a kid to we have experience of sir. I think content completely changed my life. When we say Mount Abu, right? So Mount Abu is a part of Sirohi, right? Sirohi is the district, but we don't know about Sirohi. But I come from a small town in Sirohi called Naya Sanwada. I come from that village. I basically say I'm a 10th pass, right? Because after, when I came in 11th, COVID came and I didn't study. I used to, I was like a summer camp student. So I used to I used to participate in events a lot, and that generated that curiosity and creativity in me. So that's why I relate a lot with what here this is building Act to Action, right? I think if I have a kid, I'll send him to summer camps, except send him. Yeah. So this is crazy. That instilled a lot of creativity in me. 11th, 12th, I didn't study a lot, at all. This COVID, I only made content, and I didn't went to college, and content started working for me when I just passed 12. So what I basically did is I took clips from interviews, podcasts, and I clipped that, put some good background music, put some text on it, and it started going viral, man. It went like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. I posted like one video a day for like 1 year, 2 years, right? And somehow I figured out that how content works and how content creation works, how making videos works. I did that for 2 years, and consistency is the key. I made content for 2 years, and then in 1 week, I was getting the growth was slow, and then in 1 week I got almost 1 million followers, and the next week I get 2 million followers, and I don't show my face, right? So with even faceless content, I was able to scale to like 5-6 million followers on a page, right? So that's the future of content. If you can just provide a little bit of value to people, whatever value you provide to content, people will watch you. There is immense potential in content. That's what I think. Yeah. So coming back to the point, what I think is going to be the future of content is every company, for example, the shoe I'm wearing, right? It's an Indian brand called Comment, right? Now this brand went viral just because of social media, right? It's just through branding and marketing. Like the product is as good as any Nike shoe or a Puma shoe, right? The branding and marketing was done so good on social media, and it also went through word of mouth. People just started loving it. They started sharing the thought behind why they built this brand. It's it's an India focused brand, and why do we need to support it? So I think in coming time, any company will be a media company. You will need to have a very strong branding, storytelling, marketing. And I was having a word with sir, and I realized we in India have what AVGC-XR is doing, right? They are bringing a lot of Indian stories in front. So we all have a story. We all have heard a ton of stories about India, even our own stories, right? So what I think is that everyone should come into content. There's a creator called Raj Shamani, right? And he says that either by choice or by force, you'll have to come into content. You'll have to come in front and tell your story. So just start making content. That's what I'll say. And content can really give you more eyeballs. Honestly, it can change your life, right? And it can change your company's entire branding. So that's what I'd say.
Yeah. So we have the content king, the one who guide us for content, Dr. Ashish Kulkarni, sir. Sir, I want you to tell us how exactly we can create this awareness among the parents. We as a Jaipurites, we as a Rajasthanis, who can actually take this lead further by doing some very low-key or very ground-level things. Because when you talk about you being a person talking about the policies which is wondered and that affects the global level. Yesterday in the car you mentioned 40 countries have adapted this term which is given by you. So you are not talking about that level. But yesterday only you talked to me that if I'm talking about people over here like children, my camera should come on their POV. So sir, please bring your camera to our POV in Jaipur, and please let us know that how exactly we can understand this whole industry and create that spark in every child, every early childhood, and take it forward. So yeah.
So I think we in Rajasthan already have the AVGC-XR policy for last 2 years, and now what you need to really see is that how do you use that policy in action. So as you want to do that into action, we are creating a center of excellence here. We are incubating various idea makers into actually create their content to the next level. So I would say this group at Act to Action should take a lead of listing all the sports icons that Rajasthan has produced, all the Maharajas of Rajasthan and their stories, all the historical monuments, the stories about Rajasthan itself. the cultural stories, you also have the cuisine of Rajasthan. To whatever you can remember about glorifying Rajasthan, list them all and then put up a team to curate those stories and then get some of the best artists in Rajasthan to actually create that into comic book and let's get the publisher to publish it. At the same time, the policy has funding if you want to greenlight some of these ideas. And then you get the content creators like this and get this into short stories and put it up into the portal. No sooner you start doing this, you see that people will start seeing the value into whole of the creation. You have a contest from every school to basically look at giving them a theme out of these and how their interpretations in different art forms come out. And this is where you will be able to, get them introduced to quite a few new ideas. And at one point in time, we were asked to make a Rajasthani film, and we have a very able animation director called E. Suresh. And I didn't bring my laptop today, but I have that film. And we said, how can we really show Rajasthan? And we used sand animation to show Rajasthan because it's a desert. And it kind of works very well because it resonates with what Rajasthan is all about. And I think these are few starting points, but apart from this, I would like you to see there's a small group in Pune, about 18 set of people. They run a studio and they created the first ever video game, which is console game. Console is the one that you play with Xbox or PlayStation and all. And India doesn't have too much of a console game, but globally console game is very big. India is very big with the mobile game because everybody uses a mobile. And then in between both of them is something called PC game. So they have created a game called Raji. The first game of Raji, it was the first ever console game from India, set up by the small team, and they spent 8 to 9 crores creating a game. That game has already made 150 crores so far. It's a very successful game. Right now the Raji 2 trailer is out and you should Google search for Raji 2. You will not believe, the world is watching what's going to be Raji 2. The design is so fabulous. And Raji is based out of Rajasthan. The girl character Raji is the Rajasthani girl. So the thing is that it's actually taking a local content to the global audience in a very different way. We are trying to raise $7 million for them to complete that game in the next 3 years. People are awaiting, they are doing pre-booking for that game right now. 3 years later, that game is going to release. But I must tell you that even if we spend $7 to $10 million on that game, that is going to be a rocking game and will position India in a very different way. Also look at all the war heroes that Rajasthan had. Let's create the comic book on them. That will be the starting point. That comic book can be adopted to film, can be adopted to animation, can be adopted to anything. Look at all the music that we create in Rajasthan. How do we really position that? How do, like, she is giving us so much of Indian knowledge system. She is a walking encyclopedia of Indian knowledge system. So the issue is, how can we create these ambassadors who are actually going to take this content to the global feed? And as I told you, in the global content economy, if your content is missing, you'll be completely missed out. AI will also not pick it up. And that's why you need to encourage people to create that content and contribute to the global, digital content ecosystem.
Very heavy to take. I know. I can take that question to understand more on the same from Arpit sir. Because sir, when we talk about global point, right? So about Arpit sir, you are the one. Check. Thank you. So about you, You are a boy raised in Jaipur, born in Jaipur, and from Jaipur you took this story to the globe. Sir, how this journey of Jaipur to this, the sir, what he said, taking this globally, I want you to learn from you, coming back to roots, how it feels, and when we talk about AI exposure, so at the same time, connected to Jaipur, implementing and impacting Jaipur the way you did in summer camp, and similarly, at the same time, we're trying to connect and deliver globally also. So please tell us the balance which you're able to maintain, so every parent can understand there should be a proper balance between both, that contributing globally, thinking globally, and managing nationally.
I think it's a very deep question that you have asked me, but again, उसको थोड़ा simplify करते हैं, right? So all the parents who are here, because you have really taken out time and they have come here, so I want to make it most useful for them. This particular answer. When we sit in a cocoon in a shell, we think that's the whole world. वो एक कहावत भी होती है कि कुएं का मेंढक है, उसको ने बाहर की दुनिया नहीं देखी, तो लगता है वही पूरी दुनिया है. I can say this because we are in our own country at the moment, but when I got an opportunity to be in Russia, I was along with 6 students of grade 9 to 12 who had developed a satellite over a period of 4 months, competed against global champions of universities. 4 countries were chosen. Proudly, one of them was India. Another one was UAE. So in that competition, I was representing UAE. The third country that was chosen was Russia, and fourth was Uzbekistan. Out of these 4 countries, the other...
To understand this, breaking this pattern, or maybe you're raising in the same academic services also, but how do you balance this academic services when you talk about class 24 or SSC and all these competitive exams? Simultaneously, you are owning a school called MJI's Ashta, which is working on absolutely different ball game. So how do you manage that? And if my father is listening to this, I want you to answer him that how he should see the world from here. So yeah.
So Pritesh, there are 2 aspects. First of all, we need to serve the society as well, right? First is running a company, building a company, and raising an investment, doing everything, whatever you want to. So that's a separate thing. But again, whatever we are doing, and right from the beginning, I'm in the education from the last 10, 12 years. So I was one of the victims of the rote learning school education system. We all are actually. So I was one of the backbencher, extreme corner backbencher. Always not interested in studying science or math. So I took a science and math. But again, जितना interesting पढ़ा सकते थे, हो सकती थी, इतना कभी हुई नहीं है. So idea was कि how to make a science and math and every subject interesting. Right? छोटे बच्चे होते हैं स्कूल के अंदर, they don't understand the value of science and math, and you, as a teacher, it is your role and responsibility to make it interesting so that it will become engaging for them. और फिर उसके बाद में वो रिसर्च करें उस टॉपिक के ऊपर, उसके बाद में पढ़ाई करें, उसके बाद में वो आगे डीप डाइव करें. So I was a content creator. I built a YouTube channel of 10 million subscribers, 15 million subscribers, 7 million subscribers. Together we 25 million subscribers YouTube channel. So I built in the past 10 years. So जो सर ने बोला वो I did the same thing. I collabed the content creation with the education. I did in Jaipur and across the country we did a education through monument initiative in which 100 monument we choose, and we mapped every monument with the science, math, physics, chemistry, biology, economics, social science, every subject. And we mapped it because right now it is a history, but it was not a history when it was made. It was an engineering. Jal Mahal ke andar, when it was made, it was an engineering. वहाँ पे science involved थी, math involved थी. So we forget it. हवा महल के अंदर, आमेर में, so there is a science involved, right? Every subject. तो हमने उन सबको CBSE, NCERT के साथ में मैप किया, फिर बच्चों को सिखाया, बच्चों को लेके गए, फिर हमने उनकी बुक्स बनाई. We are trying to make it a comic books as well. So हमने ऐसे 100 monuments को हमने डिकोड किया, पूरी कंट्री में काफ़ी सारे schools को सिखाने की कोशिश करी. We put a content. So we own a small school in top. वहाँ पे हम बच्चों को लेके गए एक monument में, फिर वहाँ से हमने उनको पूरा math सिखाया. We put that content on the Instagram channel and we got 1 lakh organic views. And we got more than 200 admissions in the city. जहाँ पे हमने 1 साल पहले स्कूल ओपन किया था. So this is how content creation, innovation, mapping with the right things कि कहाँ से पढ़ाई को interesting बनाया जा सकता है. For example, जैसे अर्पित का जो startup है, जो company जो भी, I don't know अगर किसी दिन बच्चे जाके they will be amazed to see if this is the science, this is the real science that can be, which is happening in the world. तो वो experiences जो होते हैं real world के, real life के, when the kids say, आपको पता नहीं होता कि वो बच्चे घर पे जाके उसको research कर रहे होते हैं, पढ़ रहे होते हैं, उसके बारे में, they are trying to understand it. और वहीं से उनकी curiosity create होती है, then they try to map their career according to it. Right? For example, when I was in school and I was in college, I was always trying to solve the problem. This is how entrepreneurship came to the picture. So this is my 6th, 7th startup. I sold it 3 startups previously, and this is my 7th startup. I don't know how I made it. I was the first generation entrepreneur in my entire family. But थोड़ा करते we learned it, we built it, and so this is the curiosity actually, right? So we need to allow that curiosity to happen. और उसके बाद में kid will find his own journey. He has his own life. You don't need to worry about it.
So I have a question which is connecting Himali ma'am and Raul both. Himali ma'am, I'll start with you. What he said is about design thinking, right? That how he has become a problem solver, or like that's how he leads into the entrepreneurship. That's where I connect. But Raul, you being such a young and entrepreneur. But before that, I want to start with ma'am. Ma'am, when we talk about UNICEF and you being here, so today's world is really terrible. Why? Because it's like headless chicken. We don't have any leadership. The leadership which we always look up to, they are not taking responsibility, or maybe they are doing anything and everything. So, what is something that lacks today in the leadership? And you want our future leaders to take it further. You want our parents to plant this things in them. So when you talk about maybe, ethical or responsibility, whatever you wish to. So I want you to take that what we need in the leaders of future in United Nations, and then I want Raul, you to take it further, how you want to guide them to understand that problem or to understand that need in the society and take that to the design thinking further. And Paridi, you can always welcome to join this thing. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this one is interesting. I would like to focus on this, the key 2-3 points that I think it's critical, essential, and most of the time missing in our discussion with children, be it a parent, be it a system, be it a teacher. So first I would like to talk about the values. Like if we talk about the values like compassion, social responsibility, respecting others, how we can build these values among children. And for that, positive modeling is very important. Like if I'm a parent and if I want my child to respect others, it's very much important that I should demonstrate first that I am respecting the others, and right. If I want my child to be honest, if I want my child not to lie, then I will also have to demonstrate that I am also not lying. Because when I started my job with a very small organization, when I was roaming in one of the slum area, I have seen children abusing language. That was my first job. I was so curious कि बच्चे ऐसे भाषा सीख के कहाँ से आते हैं? But when I interacted more, when I dipped down, मुझे समझ में आया कि वो घर से ही सीखते हैं, अपने माँ बाप से सीखते हैं, अपने परिवार से सीखते हैं. So how can we build these values that we would like to see in our child? So first of all, we have to demonstrate those values that system within us, within our family, within our school, within our community, wherever the child is. And third one is that we'll have to normalize emotional talk than other stuff, because we generally don't talk about issues that discomfort us. बहुत बाकी सारी चीज़ें तो हम अपने बच्चों के साथ बहुत अच्छे से कर लेते हैं, but when we talk about anxiety, stress, fear, we are not comfortable in certain talk, especially when the children are growing up. There are emotional, physical changes we observe in our children, and children are also going through the same changes within their body, within their mind. But there is a lack of communication gap between the parents and their children, that it's not happening, which is missing. So I think it's very much important that as a parent, because होता क्या है कि बच्चे को जब घर में से सही इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं मिलती है, तब वो कहीं और जाता है, कहीं और से इन्फॉर्मेशन लेता है, और वी आर नॉट श्योर कि वो इन्फॉर्मेशन जहाँ से मिल रही है वो करेक्ट है या नहीं. So इसीलिए it's very much important as a parent that how can we bridge that gap between us as a parent and with our children. And last thing मैं ये बोलना चाहूँगी कि just remember your childhood. How we were as a child and how we wanted to be treated as a children. How our parents have raised us. What was the area which we missed when we were as a children? So if you will be identifying those missing elements within your childhood, I think those are the critical elements that you would like to give your child as a parent. And last thing I will say that if we want our child to be safe, if we want our child to be emotionally resilient, socially responsible, empathetic, then I think it's our responsibility that how we can provide them safe and nurturing environment. Otherwise, it would be crime against child's soul. It's against the childhood, and I'm sure that none of us would like to be party of that crime. Thank you.
Well, what ma'am said is very true, and I definitely relate with it. Now, I want to start with one thing my parents told me when I was very young. Okay, my parents always told me, no matter what you do as a career, become a tire cutter person, become a farmer, whatever you do, one thing you should always be is a good human. That is what you should keep in your mind, whatever you do. Yes, definitely you should have money, definitely you should do this. But never put someone else down and bring yourself up. Never scam someone, never do this. Always keep in your mind the right things. You know what what you want to do, you know what is the right thing to do, and follow that. And for that, when I was young, right, they always told me, ask questions out. Question everything. Even things that we tell you, don't believe it. Go double check, right? That is like, I learned from my parents, and I used to be like, why is the sky blue? Why does that chair have 4 legs? Why can't it have 3? They're like, it can't balance. I'm like, why can't it balance? 3, we'll keep it like this. Proud. Then they got fed up of me and they gave me my mobile phone. From my phone, I started using Google and YouTube, and after that is from Bharatanatyam to, not Bharatanatyam, Nadodi. She does Bharatanatyam by the way, but from Nadodi Nirtam to running 10, 14 kilometers, I did the most random things in the world. But at the end of the day, my main aim was to impact the world. I like to see people smile. I do not know why, I'm not a joker, but I just like to see everyone smile. And I understood the best way to create an impact and to make people smile is none other than the future that is going to come. And one of them was AI. Right? Actually, you might have heard about this metaverse and decentralization. I was in all that future tech. But I understood AI can do the most impact, and I wanted India to grow. I wanted the rest of the world to grow. Now I'll come to the point of how I am planning to create that impact. If I'm being honest, if it is not us, if it is not, I'm always saying, they should do it, we all stick together, government should do it, they should do it. Well, if, at the end of the day, I have this title, AI Kid of India. And if I don't do anything, then what is the use, right? I should be doing it. And that is right, even with UN, ma'am, we were connected with them, and we are planning to do a lot of things also. And even for me personally, have you guys tried the app Duolingo? Anyone? Can you raise your hands if you are? Okay. For the people who don't know, it's to learn language. Me personally, as part of NEPOB, we personally released an app where we are teaching AI. Okay? Not trying to do promotion, but what we are doing there is, why not, right? To get a chance. Yes. But what we did through that app is not just teach AI, just like how I do, but hidden in it, we're actually teaching civic sense. Okay, through these, why we're teaching AI, just like through English we learn about morals and things. Hidden in this, we're teaching civic sense. We are teaching how, exactly the point of how to be a good human. Exactly the points, or basically even good touch, bad touch, things that every kid in India should know. Everyone should know, which our school is not doing. That's why we're part of the schools, colleges and this, to put it out there, right? That is why this app is completely free too. Okay, so I did the promotion too. But what I'm trying to say is that that's what I'm trying to do. But me, I can't do this on my own. We all need to stick together and start to do things. And ma'am very well said that. And yeah, please continue.
Hats off to you, buddy.
But if you want to add something, so let's have a yeah.
Just just one point I would like to add in what he said, that it's just about the good touch and bad touch. It's now safe and unsafe touch, because good and bad is subjective. What is good for me
Okay.
maybe bad for you, and what is bad for me may be good for you. So when we talk about the child safety, it's safe and unsafe touch. And I forgot in my part when you asked me, I would say all parents that please believe your children, please trust your children. Because when it comes to childhood trauma, because children are sitting here, so I will not say much here. But most of the time, the research says that most of the abuse against children are done by the trustworthy people within the family. So whenever children are saying, just trust them, listen them, and be with them.
Wow. I think that's the most important thing. My all dear friends always tell me, Ganesh, whenever I have my friends sitting over there, whenever we meet someone, so if something mishappens, we say it's because of his childhood trauma or it's her childhood trauma, right? So that's where we do this stuff, right? So let's that was a very good conversation. I'm so sorry. The team is saying sir, time's up, but I just take a closing note from all of them and just 2 questions from the audience. Sorry, Kriti, please don't kill me from this. And yeah, so starting from the Paridhi, your closing line, one message you want to give to Jaipur, to Active Action, to Viksit Bharat, future leaders.
I want people to remember, never forget who you are. Even if you go to any other country, be it any remote country, be it any famous country, never forget who you are. Never forget you are Bharatiya. Never forget you are the representative of Bharat there. And that is because our past is truly something to be proud of. Our ancestors, now today, no matter how great we are at stuff, we can never ever be as great as our ancestors were. We can never have that amount of knowledge and power in everything that we do. So like I said yesterday, I want India to live up to the name of its ancestors. So yes, my closing note will be, never forget your India, no matter where you are.
Ma'am, your closing line.
I would say that don't forget the child within you. You just say that you are still a child. We also are still a child, but when we grow up, we most of the time we forget the child within us, and we forget how to forgive. We forget the curiosity. We forget to observe, and we learn other things. So just keep that child alive in you.
What I would say, I would echo in my own words those words, kuch bada karo. I would say, dream and do. But I want to qualify that. Dream big and do big. Because India is a big country. We are a big country, we're a young country, we are, majority of our population is below 25. The youth, the strength, the energy that we have as a nation, the potential that we have as a nation, we can't afford to think small. We are not small. So think big, do big. And just on the side note, I want to say this, I want to plug in music in the whole creative world. How many of you love movies? How many of you love comedy movies? Horror movies? Kids here, how many of you love horror movies? Okay, there are quite a few hands and someone wants to put their hand right down. Oh, great one. Have you ever watched a horror movie with complete silence? No. It would look like a comedy movie, right? And what makes a difference? Music. Okay? That creative element is what brings life into whatever format of performing arts, whether it's a movie, animation, gaming. I mean, you can't do gaming without music, can you? So I would say really get music literate. Learn to read and write music, and we are encouraging all schools to adopt this. We will partner and take it across the nation, because we will then be able to generate, create a generation, the new generation of creative human beings not just musicians, but through music, and they can get into other creative arts and get their dreams realized. Their big dreams realized. Thank you. Thank you for having me here, Pritesh. I have almost imposed myself on you.
So I'm so happy and grateful that you are here, and your presence is really means a lot to us. Thank you so much. Ashish sir.
Actually, my simple message is in whatever career you make in life, please make sure that you tell the best story to the world which will be remembered beyond your existence.
I think a power dose of messages already. A big, add to action. Kuch bada karo. So perhaps I'll add my tagline here. Be curious. So it's very important for all of us to remain curious forever in our lives. That's the key to being happy.
I think one of the most important things, don't judge your kids on the marks. And this is one of the biggest mistake I think previous parent did. So at least अभी के पेरेंट्स को तो नहीं करनी चाहिए. डोंट जज योर किड्स कि उसके कितने परसेंटेज आ रही है, कितने मार्क्स आ रहे हैं. कभी भी लाइफ में वो बड़ा कर सकता है, कभी भी उसको राइट गाइडेंस, मेंटरशिप, कभी भी लाइफ में ही कैन डिकोड व्हाट ही वांट टू. तो उसके बाद बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाएगा, मतलब आप लोगों को उसको वापस से रिलेशनशिप में आना. बिकॉज जब चाइल्डहुड में जब आपको ज़रूरत होती है एक बच्चे को, तब आपने उसको मार्क्स, फेलियर, डम, बहुत सारे टैग दे दिए होते हैं स्कूल ने, पेरेंट्स ने, सोसाइटी ने. दैट इज नॉट नीडेड. तो आई थिंक वी शुड हैव टू एटलीस्ट अलाउ दैम क्यूरियोसिटी अगेन.
Beautiful. Just follow.
Yeah, so on my YouTube channel, it's been when I started, there was this one banner. I still haven't changed it, and I will never change it. It's called Learn, Unlearn, and Relearn, right? So the greatest skill any of the parents can have or any kid can have is to unlearn yourself, right? The world is changing at a very fast pace. So whatever you're learning, whatever new technology is coming, whatever new things are coming, keep unlearning yourself, right? And then relearn it. So the greatest skill is to adapt. So I just say learn, unlearn, relearn, and be with the time, right? As parents also, most of the parents don't change with time, and their kids they say something they don't understand. So yeah, just learn, unlearn, relearn. Yeah.
Actually, if you notice, out of all of this, you are kind of all of that mixed. You're curious, you have done things, right? And actually, you are telling a story, and you are who you are. From the 3 days I've met him, we have gotten so close, and I feel you are a mix of everything. I'm not just saying to take it to the top, nothing. I don't get anything out of it. Genuinely, I feel you are, Kritesh, you are that person. Record this, put it on Instagram. Okay. Anyway, okay, but see, at the end of the day, I don't think I can top any of them. But 3 things I go by. One is, be humble, or the world will humble you. My father has made sure I know that. Even if I get a bit of, can I take a picture with you, Rahul? If someone asks me when I go out or anything, right after that, my father will tell me why they should not take a picture of me, right? He put me down. Not because I should not go up, but he wants me to know to stay grounded. There was a story of a mango tree. The more mangoes that come, look strong. And I believe that. So be humble, or the world will humble you. Now apparently I'm the AI kid of India, so I have to say something AI related also. Now, I would say, in the world of AI, everyone is going to use AI, everyone is going to be that. But at the end of the day, the most important skill in the world of AI is to be as human as possible. That is going to set you apart. That's it. Thank you.
So that was all about this panel, and I would like to close this with one line, 2 lines to be honest. One is my mentor when I was an intern. I got that thing that's called DT, desire and deserve. So I desire to make Jaipur a future leader state, a AVGC-XR role model, and today I think we are trying to make entire Jaipur deserving, and I hope this panel is a beginning of a new era for Jaipur. and next panel will also contribute in the same. And from here, there is only the way who's going ahead, because sir is here who will lead us for this leadership, and all these fraternity is going to support us with their expertise to do this. And lastly, one line which I want everybody to take it, that impact which we create stays with all. Whatever the medals and whatever the achievements we have, certificates which we have, it can go, but the medals can never. We see Nalanda has yesterday Paridhi shared that thing that 70 million copies were burned, but nobody can steal India from us, right? You can do anything and everything, but the values which we have today, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that's where we again revive. See, we have hosting G20. See, India become AI Summit host, where all the AI mans of the world were here. It's because the impact and the major core agenda which is there in the roots of India is there. And that's what I want, that Jaipur to be grow, rise, but with the roots, with humbleness, with empathy, with no childhood trauma, with emotional resilience, with creative music diplomacy, with leadership, and with policy making, with AI, STEM, with humbleness, with curiosity. So that's it all about. Thank you so much. I would like panel to say act to action. Kuch bada karo. So act to action.
Kuch bada karo.
Act to action.
Kuch bada karo.
And lastly, I say that I say act to action summer camp. You guys have to say Rajasthan taiyar hai. Act to action summer camp.
Rajasthan taiyar hai.
Act to action summer camp.
Rajasthan taiyar hai.
Now I would like to call upon, I'm the actor only, shall I?
But before that, let's give a huge round of applause for Pritesh. He has infinite energy, so very infectious energy. Great round of applause.
I think we forgot mentioning this beautiful lady who has been translating for all of us from last one and a half hour.
She's Nupur Bhardwaj. Have a big round of applause for Nupur. Her father is there, Manoj Bhardwaj sir. The one who is doing the accessibility constantly. It's from the Nupur Sansthan, which is the name of Nupur. Thank you Manoj sir for taking this initiative to take this voice to the people who cannot access this whole, Samudra Manthan, I should say, the amalgamation, the nectar which we have produced right away. Just because of her, we can take it to them. So thank you very much. Thank you Nupur, thank you so much, and we are grateful to you.